All right, we're here at AMP Performance here in Mobile, Alabama, 65 Sidney Phillips Drive. I'm here with athlete Ethan Cowart. We are going to be learning the clean and jerk today. I'm going to take y'all over a little bit. You got Chris, former head coach at D1 Strength. Look at him, just a freaking monster. But you got all kind of guys in here that are like that. So these are all the Olympic platforms. You have 9 Olympic platforms, plus the new Mississippi State platform that actually goes with our new power rack over there. So we have our power, which are our squat racks. We have 6 squat racks. We have 4 benches over there, and we have all types of stuff. We have our deadlift platforms here, as well as our Alabama Strength axle bar. You have your powerlifting plates here. And then here's your Olympic lifting plates, which is what we're going to do the clean and jerk with. You have your bumper plates over there, and we'll head back over here to the CrossFit section. Before you ever assess a clean and jerk, you definitely need to go over mobility. Mobility is a key into the clean and jerk. This is where we will assess mobility of our athlete. This is our CrossFit section. Over in this direction over here, is reverse hypers, special strength, belt squats, our box jumps, plyometrics. Bodybuilding section is over here to our right. We're not going to be in that area a lot. Clean and jerk is you need to be in the Olympic lifting platforms. Okay, to assess an athlete on the clean and jerk, he needs to have great hip ankle mobility. So one stretch we really do to warm up for the clean and jerk is a hip stretch. So Ethan, will you demonstrate a hip stretch for getting ready for the clean and jerk? This is what we do every day before we attempt our clean and jerk. What it actually does is it pushes on the head of the femur and it loosens up all your hip. So what you do, Ethan, take the elbow to the ground. Whenever you use the same elbow that is on your hip, it actually puts a lot of emphasis onto your hip and it stretches all the muscles out. It actually feels really good, and it's really great for people that have hip impingements, and it actually helps them get through the hip impingements. So that way, whenever they go into a deep squat, it doesn't hurt at the front. So we hold these for about 15 seconds each. Here's where we push our hip through. You just push the hip through, allow it to stretch the hip out. That's what the band does. All right, now that the athlete has his hips a little bit loose, we're going to go through an ankle stretch. Now, a lot of people don't know this, so wait before you do that. We're going to go over here. So, I mean, as you get up close to this. Okay, to assess to have good ankle mobility, come to the side. So you want to be able to drive your knee over your toe all the way to the wall, right? To have perfect ankle mobility, you want to take a hand and a thumb from this to here. You want to be able to drive your knee past your toes until this while keeping your heel flat on the ground. As you see, I cannot. My heel comes off the ground. I can push to here. I feel tightness in the back of my calf. That is from a tight calf. And as well as you feel an impingement in the front of your foot, that is called your talus bone. And we do an amazing stretch to get the talus bone. It's actually from years and years of rolled ankles and stuff like that. You can actually unimpinge this bone, which will take the impingement out, which would allow you to push over your foot and not have that impingement in the front. So if you loosen your calf up and you still have that impingement in the front of your ankle, you can actually use a ankle stretch. So Ethan, will you demonstrate the ankle stretch for us? So what the plate does is the plate elevates the foot. So whenever you have the foot elevated, the band goes directly on the talus bone. And whenever you press it down, sometimes it's even to the point where you can feel this thing pop. So if you keep rocking back and forth, now we normally do 15 each foot to loosen up this thing and we'll get the impingement out, as well as doing a calf stretch. And this is probably the most optimal way to get very good ankle mobility, because ankle mobility in a deep squat is one of the most important things That ain't hip mobility. So we'll let him work on his ankles. He's going to go through ankle after he loosens up the front, the talus. Now you can stretch the calf. This is crucial. Down, brings the calf down, puts a good stretch on the calf. The thing about stretching before an exercise is you don't really want to stretch for a maximum amount of period, because then you'll lose strength, especially in a full body dynamic movement like a clean and jerk. So you just want to get your body loose, get your body warm to the point, unless the athlete is severely doesn't have enough flexibility. We got through that. All right, now grab the plate and drop it to the squat. All right, so with this stretch here, the athlete has the plate out in front. They rock their body until over 1 foot. And whenever they do that, it's just the same thing. You're putting optimal stretch right on the calf. As the athlete rocks back and forth, he gets enough stretching. That's good. So we went through the hips and the ankles, which is good for the clean. But as far as the jerk and any other overhead movement, you want to have very flexible lats. So what you do with that is you do hanging from the bar. If they're extremely tight from the lats, you'll hang from the bar for a certain amount of time or stop. The next thing we do is banded lat stretches. And Ethan will demonstrate that for us. As he drops, he sinks into almost a squat, putting full stretch on the lat all the way into the shoulder, all the way into the arm. It's fully stretching that lat. And what he'll do in a second is he'll take the leg behind him. And what that does, it places even more emphasis on a lat stretch. So he went from having a little bit of stretch, now he's fully stretching the lat to warm it up. And he'll do that from both sides. Now, if your athlete has any problems with this, you could do the hang and stretch. It's literally you hang from a bar. Whenever you hang from a bar, it just stretches the lats in the same way. Okay, now we are done with a banded warm up. So now what are we gonna do? We are gonna go to the special strength thing, but I wanted to introduce y'all to the shoes. These are Olympic lifting shoes. These have a raised heel in them, which allows you to get into a deeper squat. If you go into a deep squat, sometimes your heel will raise off the ground. These have just a slightly elevated heel. The shoe makes it look like it's a lot, but it really isn't. But it really helps you get into the deep squat position with a clean. So we're gonna throw these on, head to the special strength. Okay, so we're here now at the reverse hyper machine. This machine was actually invented by Louis Simmons of Westside Barbell. He actually invented this machine for Larry Bird. I know a lot of people know Larry Bird, and he had very bad back issues. Well, whenever he seen Larry Bird was gonna have to retire because of his back, he was like, well, I have this machine that will actually help build your back. This is very crucial to any Olympic lifts, power lifters, everything. It really builds your squat up really good, builds a strong back. So what the athlete does is that Ethan will demonstrate. You throw your legs in like this, and it's like a bicep curl with your back. And that was the main thought that he had. If you could work your back without actually loading your spine, then you could actually help recover your back. So what the athlete does is he goes and his back curls, and it pumps up your lower back. Whenever you pump up your lower back, it strengthens your lower back without having to without having to load the spine or anything like that. So we'll do this with our athlete, build up his lower back, get him ready for the clean and jerk. Olympic lifting platform. Now, one of the biggest things that you need to notice is this right here. The bar has spin on it. Now, if you go to a regular bar, like follow me, and we'll just go to a regular powerlifting bar or anything of that nature. These bars Do not spin like that. This one spins a little bit, but it's not anywhere near it. This one doesn't spin at all. So that is very important to building whip and building the bar and allowing you to actually do the clean and jerk movement. So one of the first things we do to do the clean and jerk is you want to assess the grip on the bar. So one of the coolest ways, come get in front of the bar please, is pick up the bar, Ethan. So notice the thumb. That is what you call a hook grip. You take your thumb around the bar and you hook it. That allows you to have optimal grip on the bar as far as taking a grip in a bar like this and gripping a bar like this. It allows you to actually hook in and lock in. So now go up. So the beginning lift is essentially a deadlift. If you'll come to the side and we'll viewing from the side from the pool, do a regular deadlift, Ethan. It's essentially a deadlift with a lot more incline. So will you do a pull to your knee and to the power position? Don't clean yet. Pull. You notice how he gets to the knees and he travels up the thighs. That is very important into actually creating contact with the bar, which allows him to actually explode. So it's a deadlift into pull, and whenever you assess the pull, that's whenever you have hip drive. Now, Ethan, will you essentially do a power clean with the bar? So if you'll watch his hips and the drive from the thighs, the up, deadlift, drive to the thighs, up. Very good. All right, so now that's called a power clean. What we'll go over now is something called a hang clean. A hang clean scratches the deadlift portion of it, and it takes you right from almost the power position. So Ethan, will you go do a hang clean for us? Down the power position, up to the thighs. Good. That is what you call a hang clean. Hang clean essentially takes off the deadlift, takes off all your power, puts you in that position. Now, another great way to do that with a lot of weight is the blocks. Now, we're not using blocks, but these blocks essentially put it into a power position. So if you see this block here, imagine me beside the block. I'm pulling from that position. It's power. So it takes away the whole bottom part of your lift, which takes all the buildup of your strength away, which is you have to focus on your technique a lot. Okay, Ethan, will you do a full clean? So for a Olympic lifting meet, you have to do a full clean. A full clean is where you catch it in a front squat. This is very important. Up, contact, drop, up. It's essentially a deadlift into a hip thrust, into a catch, into a front squat. Will you demonstrate that one more time, Ethan, to stay in the bottom position? Come to the side, please. If you watch the bar path, up the legs, into the thigh, into the catch position, it's just like a front squat. Now press up. Now he presses up. Okay. So essentially on the jerk part, now that he has done a full clean, now he must jerk. Okay. So one of the coolest things to notice about a jerk is, Ethan, do a full clean into a jerk. You want to get in the front position for this. The explode up. Notice how he explodes the bar up and he extends his hands. This is very important because if he keeps the same hand position, his hands will be too close and he will not be able to complete it. So now jerk. Good. Notice how he extends the legs to put body weight under the bar. Now, that is one of the most optimized ways to do it. Chinese weightlifters do it in a very complete opposite fashion. they do like a close grip overhead squat, which takes a lot of mobility, and it's really hard for people that are built like us to do it. It takes extreme mobility, and it takes you to be genetically gifted to be able to do something like that. As well as another one which takes more strength but doesn't take, which essentially just takes more strength to complete, is called a push press. Ethan, will you show them a push press with the same weight? So he gets the bar in the same position. He then explodes, push press. Now, you can see from a push press, a push jerk, there is not a lot of momentum carried into the bar. So it'd be very, very, very difficult at an extreme amount of weight to be able to do something like that. There are some people that can, but a split jerk is one of the most optimized ways, and it essentially changed the clean and jerk motion as a whole. Okay, so now Ethan is going to perform a push jerk. So a push jerk, essentially the same thing as a push press, but allows a little bit more power and more leg drive through the movement. So you do a clean. Good. Want to explode through the hips, leg drive. Good. Get the weight up. Good. These are all legal ways to lift. Now, the only fault that you would more than likely get called for is the elbow fault, which is where you do not fully extend your arm and you catch it like this, and you catch it in this position, then you press out. My elbow is not locked out, so they more than likely would call something like that. All right, now we are done with the clean and jerk. Hopefully everybody understands a little bit more into the clean and jerk. Here at AMP Performance here in Mobile, Alabama, you see the USA weightlifting thing? You have the USA Olympic thing. Jake Johnson, the head coach here, personally pretty much who owns the gym or whatever, he's an Olympic hopeful. He is going to compete in November. He qualified the other day to go to Nationals, which is in Las Vegas. So he is going to go to Las Vegas. He's very smart. He is a coach in USA Weightlifting, and hopefully he will be sponsored by USA Weightlifting. And thanks to him, we get to use this gym and experience a gym like this pretty much. Now, everything you see in this gym is pretty much owned by him, and I really wanted to show y'all all the Olympic lifting bars. You come over here, it's just beautiful. These deadlift bars, there's a lot of strongmen in here. We have the Alabama State squat record holder, Alabama State bench record holder. We have some of the strongest men in the world that works out here. One of the strongmen that works out here is going to compete against the top strongmen in the world. He literally placed second in the world to Zydrunas Savickas, which is one of the most famous strongmen in the world. So if you like weightlifting, if you like powerlifting, I would suggest coming to this gym. And if you want to grow and become stronger, this gym is 100% the best option. My internship here went amazing. We get to work out here for track, which I didn't even know was going to work out for track before I started my internship. And then we got here, and you can't ask for a better gym. And Ethan, do you have any words that you'd like to say?
Be savage, not average.
Savage, not average, baby.